Here in Minnesota, meanwhile, election leaders are making sure you know what to expect before, during, and even after you have your voice heard. Gordon spoke to the Secretary of State, Steve Simon, today. Gordon, what was his final message to voters?
Yeah, during this election, one of their biggest concerns has been misinformation, the fake campaign videos out there, and the false information on social media. So today, election officials decided to put the accurate information out there so voters know what to expect on Election Day.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Simon, Minnesota Secretary of State.
For the man in charge of carrying out a fair and accurate election in Minnesota, he has two wishes heading into Election Day.
If I could wave a magic wand in this room, I would wish for two things: high turnout and low drama.
Regarding that first wish, Minnesota is known as a high voter turnout state. From 2016 to 2020, Minnesota ranked first in the nation. But in the last election, Minnesota placed second.
After 3 times in a row as number 1, the state of Maine did surpass us.
Simon is hoping to bring the title back to Minnesota. It's why his office is educating voters about all the options this time around, to vote early, absentee, and on Election Day. As of Monday morning, he says nearly 1.2 million Minnesotans had already voted. That's about 27% of all eligible voters. However,
we know that there are more than 150,000 ballots outstanding. They're still out there. They've been issued and they have not been turned in yet.
If you have a ballot sitting at home, Simon says it's too late to send it in the mail. You have 3 options to make your vote count. You can fill out the ballot and hand deliver it yourself, or have someone you trust deliver it for you. Or you can go to the polling place and vote in person.
The system tracks who has an outstanding absentee ballot. So when you go into a polling place, you will be entitled to vote in person on Election Day. But at that very instant, your absentee ballot will be canceled.
When it comes to Simon's second wish for no drama, his staff is working with the FBI and local law enforcement to stay on top of any cybersecurity threats.
Both foreign and domestic bad actors are committed to disrupting American elections.
Bill Ekblad, the state's election security navigator, says there are no credible threats against Minnesota at this time. The U.S. Justice Department also recently announced they are monitoring the polls in 86 jurisdictions across the country, including Hennepin County, Ramsey County, and the city of Minneapolis. Minnesota's 30,000 election judges are also making final preparations before the big day.
Every piece of equipment that is used at the election has undergone testing to confirm that the equipment is counting ballots with 100% accuracy.
Lastly, Simon says it's important for Minnesotans to have clear expectations when it comes to results. He says here in Minnesota, we should have all or most of the votes counted by breakfast time Wednesday morning. But many states won't have results ready until much later. And that doesn't mean something is wrong. Each state has different rules that could slow things down.
We want things to go off well. We want ultimately to get to a place of acceptance of the results, no matter who wins. And I think we're headed in that direction. I'm cautiously optimistic.
The Secretary of State's office also gave some last-minute tips for voters heading to the polls tomorrow. You can't wear any clothing that supports one of the candidates. If you do, the election judges may ask you to leave or change your clothes or cover it up. And the polls officially close at 8 tomorrow night, but I'm told if you're in line before 8 o'clock, the polling location has to stay open until you can get through the line and cast your vote.
And Gordon, we've heard nationally some talk about poll challengers, as they're called, maybe showing up on Election Day. Any looking out for that here in Minnesota?
Yeah, election officials here in Minnesota said that here we have very strict laws about what challengers can actually do, and they don't really expect a lot of that. They say it's pretty rare to actually see them. They're not expecting it to be a big deal this time around. They say basically to be an election challenger, you have to be basically appointed by the local party in our area, and you can only challenge if you have actually first-hand information that that voter isn't supposed to be voting in the precinct. You can't be on a hunch or you're suspicious about that person. It has to be information that you have that shows this person doesn't live there. Maybe they're trying to be someone who has died. It's very limited scope on what these challengers can actually do in Minnesota.
All right, interesting. Thanks for the update, Gordon.